Is Miss Malfino? Oh, she's right there. She's coming. It's all good. Good morning. You're Ryan Hodgej. And Mr. Kimler, will your client waive the formal reading of the indictment?
So waived.
And we're going on the full indictment, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Hodge, in cause number 24, DCCR 1167, you're charged with third-degree felony offense of evading arrest or detention with the use of a vehicle from April 11th of 2024. Your indictment further alleges that you were previously convicted of burglary, a second-degree felony, May 12th of 2015 in Grady County, Oklahoma, and on that same date, also convicted of possession of a controlled substance in Grady County, Oklahoma. And then after those were final, you were convicted March 20th of 2018, also in Grady County, Oklahoma, of bribing an officer. And on that same date, convicted of a felon in possession of a firearm in Grady County. How do you plead to that charge? So how do you plead to the original charge that you're evading arrest or detention with the use of a vehicle? And are those prior convictions true? Did you enter your plea of guilty and true freely and voluntarily? And because you actually did what they've charged you with? I have here on the tablet some documents that have your signature on them that the state has marked as exhibit number 1. Before you signed these, did you go over them with Mr. Kimler? Do you fully understand them? And do you understand, if I follow the agreement that you've made with the district attorney, that you will be waiving or giving up any right to appeal? And so, is there a fine agreed to?
I marked a fine. I would look that up to the state.
500 is fine.
So it looks like the agreement that you've reached with the district attorney is for a 10-year deferred probation. There would be a $500 fine, and you would be required to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. Is that your understanding? I want to make sure you understand that because you've entered a plea of true to all of those prior felony convictions, that this is a little different than a normal 10-year deferred. If you violate, your minimum punishment by law that I could give you if you violate this probation is 25 years, non-negotiable, because you've pled to it this way. If you violate, the minimum is 25. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you also understand, if you're not a U.S. citizen, that a plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law? State tenders number 1.
Without objection.
It's admitted. Is there any evidence that Mr. Hodge is not competent?
None that I'm aware of, Your Honor.
All right, sir, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty and true freely and voluntarily. Find that you're mentally competent and understand the nature and the consequences of your plea. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm going to reset your case for sentencing so that the probation department can do a pre-sentence report. That will give me more information about you, your case, and then we'll come back later for sentencing. Do you have your discovery certification?
Yeah,
Okay. Go
May
ahead.
I inquire if he
Yeah.
has a GPS judge? I know he resides in Oklahoma. I don't know if that would be something that,
Was it part of your bond that you have a GPS monitoring device?
Yes, they have.
So are you wearing that
Yeah,
now?
yeah, they have.
Okay.
you have it on you right now.
No, they've taken it off like since prior. I had a problem with it, but I came down there and I've been checking in twice a week. They've changed the stipulation of it, but
So
they
it-
said as long as they changed
It might have been, so your bondsman had that condition on you?
Yes.
Not the court? Okay.
Yes, but she said you've been following up and going to court. Everything's been good.
Okay. All right. So it's very important. Obviously today, stop and talk to probation. She's going to let you know what you need to do. You're going to need to go to the probation department before you leave. You're going to have to set up that appointment for that pre-sentence report. If for some reason you don't do that and you don't follow through, then you run the risk of me not accepting the plea agreement. Obviously things could be much worse. If you're arrested for anything between now and when you come back for sentencing, obviously I'm not going to accept the plea agreement. Things can be a whole lot worse. Do you understand? All right, stop and talk to probation. We'll see you at sentencing. Miss Wyn, in cause number 24, DCCR 1298, you're charged with the state jail felony offense of theft of property from April 8th of 2024. And how do you plead to that charge? Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you did what they charged you with? I have here on the computer some documents that have your signature on them that the state's marked as exhibit number 1. Before you signed these, did you go over them with Ms. Holmes? Do you fully understand them?
Yes.
And do you understand, if I follow the agreement that you've made with the district attorney, that you will be waiving or giving up any right to appeal? And so is the agreement, it looks like, for a 12-month term in the state jail prison?
Yes, Your Honor,
Yes,
she
Judge.
has 11 months
Okay.
of back time.
Okay,
So she would have to serve one more month.
okay.
The defense is requesting if she could turn herself in on Friday. She has 3 children that she needs to get situated.
Well, so what we need to do is, I'll go through with the plea, but not sentence her, because if I sentence her, it just turns into an issue if she doesn't.
Okay.
The motions for new trial and things like that, there's really not a lot of things we can do. So, I can take the plea today. We can do the sentencing Friday. We can do the sentencing Monday during the next docket.
Okay.
I'm willing to do the week, whatever.
Couple of things, Judge. If we can maybe put on the record how we arrived at that time. And also there's the state, well, ordinarily I wouldn't be opposed to a defendant turning herself in at a later date. This plea was contemplated prior to today. In other words, this defendant knew that there was a very good chance that she would be going the other day. On its face, it just looks like a plain Jane state jail felony theft. But Judge, it appears that she may have been a part of a theft ring that committed more than about 29 total different crimes to the tune of about $50,000, Judge. So with all that being said, I'm not so amenable to her turning herself in later, but of course it's up to the court.
So here's what we'll do. We'll go through with the plea, and then we'll be here and do sentencing this Friday at 9 a.m.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you do that?
I have municipal court Friday morning, but
What time?
they typically start at 8:30. But I could,
I mean, it won't take long.
yeah, I could tell them I'll need to leave and come and go back.
I mean, we can do this at 8:30, and then you can just, instead of starting and stopping, and just be, I mean, it'll
Little
take
late,
10
yeah.
minutes.
Okay.
Would you rather that?
Yeah, that's
Instead of starting and stopping, just let them know you'll be a little bit late?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, so that's what we'll do then. All right, so, and you guys have talked to the clerk about the credit?
Yes, so there were several counties in which Miss Wyn was transferred throughout from 2024 to 2025.
For various thefts.
Okay.
Yes, from various steps in various counties. So we have we know that Jefferson County put the hold on her in June of 2024,
Okay,
and then she was released in May of 2025
okay,
after completing all those other counties.
okay,
Yes, ma'am.
gotcha. All right, so is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you also understand, if you're not a U.S. citizen, that a plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law? State tenders number 1.
No objection.
It's admitted. Is there any evidence that Miss Wyn is not competent?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find that you're mentally competent and you understand the nature and the consequences of that plea. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm going to reset your case for sentencing to this Friday, which is January the 9th, thank you, at 8:30 a.m. It's very important that you're here on time because Ms. Holmes has something else she needs to do in another court. And so we'll all be here early. We'll get your case taken care of. You'll go into custody. If you don't show up this Friday, well, just let me go. Good, I hope so. But let me just, if you don't, then I don't have to accept this plea agreement and things could be worse. You understand? Also, if you're arrested for anything this week between now and when you come back Friday, you run the risk of me not accepting that agreement. You understand? And it sounds like there's the hold, there's some documentation of the hold that we had. And so the credit from that June date in 2024 to the release date in May will be granted as far as back time.
Here's the moment everything changes. The judge accepts the plea deal, but then adds 2 extra years of probation anyway. That's a courtroom power move. Legally, judges often control probation length even when both sides agree on a recommendation. And in this case, she's making one thing crystal clear, getting another DWI just 4 days after probation ended. Completely destroyed his credibility. Question for you guys. Should repeat offenders get longer supervision, or does extending probation just delay the inevitable?
Did we already admit one?
No, Judge.
State tenders number 1.
No objection.
It's admitted. Is there any evidence that Miss Wyn is not competent?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find that you're mentally competent and understand the nature and the consequences of your plea. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, again, I'm going to reset your case until Friday at 8:30. We do not need a pre-sentence report. You'll come in and be ready to go that day with the bailiff, okay? All right, we'll see you Friday morning. And you've got your certification?
I gave it to you.
I have it. You have it? Okay. All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So, do we know anything from Mr. Price?